Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Got some big Steam news and updates to go over. Steam hitting another milestone. It seems like every couple of months we're talking about Steam hitting another crazy milestone. Steam has hit a new record of over 34 million concurrent players. Steam has broken its own record that it has had 34 million concurrent players, while 11 million of those concurrent users were playing a game. I should say they had a concurrent user base of 34 million, 34,649, but 11 million of those were playing a game. Generally speaking, obviously, you'll have a lot of people online on Steam. Personally speaking, Steam boots up with my computer, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, that is the case. Steam just boots up and you're logged in. You're not always playing a game, but you are logged in. But even with that being said, 11 million concurrent people playing a game is still a staggeringly high number. A bunch of that came from Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, PUBG, Helldivers 2, Apex Legends, and so on and so forth. Some of the more popular games right now, and obviously you've got other people playing titles such as Baldur's Gate 3, maybe some of you guys playing Persona 3 Reload, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or maybe you're going back to 2011 and you're playing Deus Ex Human Revolution. Whatever the case is, 34 million people online, 11 million concurrent players. Steam is just getting bigger and bigger, and I really think Steam is one of the most powerful platforms in all of gaming. I get it that you have competitors that are trying to come out like the Epic Game Store, and competition is a good thing, but man, I don't know if any competition is ever going to be on the level of Steam. Most people are just, attached to Steam. They've got their library on Steam. They've got their friends list on Steam. That's why I think it is such a poor decision by Ubisoft to lock their games to Ubisoft Connect. Why? Just shoot yourself right in the foot, right out the gate with a game like Skull and Bones. Oh, Skull and Bones is a flop? I'm not saying a Steam release would have made it not a flop, but it certainly would have helped. Like, you're already shooting yourself in the foot right out the gate. Assassin's Creed Mirage, I'm sure, did very, very well, but it would have done better on PC if it was available on Steam. That is the reality of the situation. Steam is a behemoth as a platform, and even if you gotta pay them the 30%, 20%, whatever it is, I know it fluctuates depending on how many copies you sell, even if you have to pay that amount, we all know that a significant portion of sales will be eaten away if you do not release your game on Steam. Why do you think Epic Game Store has to pay a significant fee to get these timed exclusives on their platform? Why do you think it's sometimes 7, 8 figures to these publishers for timed exclusivity? That's because they're eating away at the possible sales on Steam. Metro Exodus ain't gonna sell as well on Epic Game Store as it is on Steam, and it would be very, very cool if we got exact numbers on how many copies a game like Metro Exodus has sold on Epic Game Store and Steam. We'll never get access to those kinds of numbers, but wouldn't it be funny if throughout the time, given that Exodus came out in 2019 and then it dropped on Steam in 2020, I believe, if Exodus sold more on Steam in its lifetime, and I don't think that would be a stretch to say that at all. The 1-year initial exclusivity, I'm sure it helped and was beneficial for it to sell copies on the Epic Game Store, but ultimately a lot of people were just like, alright, I'm not even gonna buy it right now. So it's interesting as far as that's concerned, but Steam is just a behemoth, and I gotta give them a lot of credit. While I do think they could definitely use a little bit of quality control in terms of checks and balances on what is dropped on the Steam platform, I get it that that's a little bit of the charm, but when you have games rebranding to sucker people in to buy Helldivers 2 or Palworld, like, look up that story, it's crazy. Like, come on now, we gotta do a little bit of stuff to at least, ease that, and ease those issues, but for the most part, they get consistent updates. The quality of life has gotten exponentially better. Like, for somebody like me that's had a Steam account for, 14, 15 years now, the user experience on Steam exponentially better now than it was 15 years ago, 14 years ago. And you also look at it as somebody that's been gaming for a long time on Steam and buying games on Steam. It's crazy to see how much it has evolved. And if you were to tell me when I first made a Steam account and was getting into PC gaming, that the bevy of games that are available now on Steam, I'm not saying the thrown together releases that come out on Steam. I'm talking about back when I got into PC gaming, guys, and back when I was buying stuff on Steam, JRPGs weren't even being released regularly on Steam. One thing that was a bummer when I was getting into PC gaming, Tales of, for example, was one of my favorite franchises on consoles, and I was like, man, if I do all my gaming on PC, I can't play the Tales of games. That isn't even a thought to some of you guys at this point. If you got into PC gaming recently, you'll see the Tales of games being promoted heavily on PC, and obviously the Final Fantasy games as well. Unfortunately, Sony's still doing Sony stuff as far as timed exclusivity exclusivity, but you'll get the 7 remake. You'll ultimately get Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16 on PC as well. And you're getting these games, and you're getting Xbox titles as well, and PlayStation titles. Man, if you were to tell me that 14, 15 years ago, I would have been like, yo, you're absolutely crazy. None of this is ever gonna happen. That's why I say, guys, the idea of Nintendo games coming to Steam, like, yes, you might scoff at the idea. You might think it's absolutely crazy, but you tell somebody 10, 15 years ago that God of War was gonna be on Steam, I think they would have looked at you and been like, you're absolutely insane, but that is the world we currently live in, and give a lot of credit to Steam for facilitating and being a big factor. I'm not saying they were the only factor, but Steam certainly was a big factor in facilitating the growth of PC gaming. So a lot of credit there is warranted, and obviously there are things that I push back on Steam. The Steam sales these days, is it the biggest thing in the world? No. Like, I feel like if you've been around Steam for a long time, the Steam sales is a lot more of the same. And I remember back when I was getting into PC gaming, I think my first Steam summer sale was summer of 2012. It was like Pandora's box had been open. I was spending so much money on that, at least at the time, relative to how much money I had. I was a teenager at that point, but I was just looking at stuff and I'm like, bro, $3.74, $5. Even like at that point, Skyrim for $30 was such an attractive price point. And the game has kind of changed at this point. You don't have cool community things like the community's choice deals. That was cool. The flash deals where you were constantly recycling or cycling through the pages and whatnot. It was a different time as far as the Steam sales. I'm sure the Steam sales these days, just given the gravitas of how many people are on Steam now, rake in a lot more money than they did back in 2012. Although I think they were making healthy revenue in 2012 as well. So don't get it twisted as far as that's concerned. But you know, nowadays, you also have all these other e-tailers like a Green Man Gaming, a Games Planet, and what's not. So you could get great deals for Steam games all the time, and I do think the deals aspect definitely was a huge proponent of Steam growing just because you could get games, and it really normalized to a lot of people that you don't have to spend $50, $60 on a game. You could wait a couple months, a year, and get a game much cheaper. Or it could even be a case of you didn't even know a game existed, it goes on sale, and then you buy it while it's super cheap. It's just very effective in that regards, and you see a lot of those elements just being taken. I mean, the deals are deals. Every digital storefront would have adopted that, but the PlayStation Store is running sales all the time. Microsoft Store, Xbox Store, sales all the time. And Steam was really at the helm of digital storefront deals, like, let's just be real as far as that's concerned, and really making it like an event. The summer sale, winter sale, those are legit events, I feel like, in the PC gaming world. To me, not as much. I got over 1,000 games on Steam. I'm not really in the position to continue buying more games. I have a huge backlog to work on and a lot of games coming out, but for a lot of people, if you get into PC gaming, man, try to time it with one of those Steam sales running and you will be feasting. But you don't even have to do that. Humble Bundles, Games Planet, Green Man Gaming, there's always good sales running, but I digress. Mainly wanted to talk about 34 million concurrent players, but got on a little bit of a tangent. The growth of Steam has just been remarkable to see over the last 10, 15 years, and again, from a game library standpoint, you tell me a decade ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago that Steam would have the library and PC would have the library it has now, I would have said you are absolutely crazy. I would have first of all said, holy hell, we're getting a Final Fantasy VII remake? Because back in 2010, I would have said you're crazy if you thought that was ever happening. But lo and behold, that did happen. It's on PC as well, and you got PlayStation games on PC, you got Xbox games on PC. It's a good time to be a PC gamer, to say the least. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.